Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, we're going to add another story. It's going to be another kid story to the hunting story list. So this one here is going to be about Colby and his first 6-point buck, first buck he ever killed. Stay tuned. Okay, this story here starts back. Colby's 27 now. This would have been when he was probably 11 years old. So it's a pretty good while back. And we've got a lease over in Morgan County up in the mountains. And I hunt a lot. We got a lot of friends go over there. We don't hunt it much anymore since the HD hit it so bad. But anyway, back in that time, I only had Colby. He's by my first marriage, so I didn't have him. But I had him every other weekend, every Tuesday and Thursday. So every weekend I had him, I tried to put him in the woods. Well, Colby had been with me a bunch of times and he had never killed a deer. But at this spot that we took him, we ended up nicknaming it Colby spot after this happened. But I took Colby up there, and I had been hunting it, but I had seen this in particular 6-point, old smiley looking buck. He had the black around his mouth made him look like he smiles. I'll have to see if I can get a picture of the buck or something. But anyway, this in particular morning, they used to rut over there a lot earlier than they did here in the valley in Loudon. So me and him go over there, we get in there an hour and a half before dark, and walk all the way back there and get up in the buddy stand. And it's pretty cold. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, hey, you hear a buck grunting. And it's one of the only times I've ever heard a doe bleat as loud as she did in the dark. They chased one another. It was pitch black. You couldn't see hand in front of your face. Well, I'm sitting there now, as a deer hunter, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. They're going to be everywhere. Now I can feel Colby get a little closer. He didn't know what to think. He's pretty scared at that time. I told him, he said, what are they doing, Dad? I said, he's just, they're just rutting. He's looking for love. Just sit here and, it'll be all right. Daylight will break. So you know how kids can be impatient. And one of the biggest things Colby liked about it, we'd go over and went hunting about 10, 30, or 11. Then we'd go down this little place and get some Hunt Brothers pizza, and then we'd sit around for about 2 hours and go back that afternoon. So he wasn't much of one to have patience in hunting when he was younger. Trust me, he was not very patient. So anyway, daylight broke. Sure enough, no deer, no does, no bucks. So we're sitting there, and my trail cam pictures I'd looked at, this deer had come through at 9:30 every morning, 3 days before. In a 15-minute window, give or take 15 minutes, 30-minute window, he would come through. So we're sitting there, and it's about 8:30. Colby starts getting fidgety. Hey, Dad, when are we going? When are we leaving? I said, I don't know. Well, when's the deer going to show up? I don't know. Just be still, listen. Learn, listen, watch. He sat there a little bit later. He said, Dad, I got to go pee. I said, you're just going to have to hold it a little bit longer, son. I promise you, there's going to be a deer coming. 15, 20 minutes. Dad, I really got to pee. I said, well, just turn around. Pee off the side of the tree stand. He just looked at me kind of funny. So about 20, 30 more minutes went by. Dad, I got to pee. Dad, I really got to pee. I said, well, you don't want to pee out of the tree. Just get down and go over here and pee at the stand. So he gets down, he goes over, and he pees. Now I'm watching. He pees. He finally gets his cover all zipped up, and he comes back up the ladder and, gets back in the stand with me. So we sat there. It's getting probably another 10, 15 minutes. He said, when are we going, Dad? I said, son, we ain't going till we see a deer. You're going to have to sit here and be still. So I look over and I can see that little brain working. He's looking around. He turns around and he says, Dad. I said, what? He said, I got to go poop. I thought, this kid's throwing everything at it. And I know most people would say, well, you should have just got him out there. But I knew that deer was coming, and all he talked about was going to kill a deer. So I looked around. There's a hollow stump over there. I said, just get down, go over there, and you can do your business, that stump. He looked at me, what? Well, what am I supposed to use? I said, well, there's leaves, you sock, whatever, you can use something. When he was ratchet jawing, trying to figure out what was going on, I happened to turn down there in that holler, I seen that rack coming up the hill. We had a little old bitty round food plot there, and the deer would go right by the stand. We had a salt lick back here. So that deer comes walking up, and I said, Colby, Colby, look there. There's deer, there's deer. He looks up there and he sees it, and boy, there goes the excitement. So he had a little old single shot 243. I had a little Rossi 243. So I had it. So I handed it to him. So don't cock that hammer until you're ready to shoot. And it's getting close, and we're going to have to get quiet. And the food plot's probably 60 yards wide at the most. Well, that buck comes there and he's got it in the scope and he's just moving and shaking. I'm like, calm down, zero in, don't look at the rack. When he gets up here and gives you a shot, shoot him. Well, the deer comes up and he gets close, but don't really give him a shot. I said, son, let it get a little closer. And us as deer hunters that's got some years on our belt, you know, we know when to shoot, where they're a good spot, and okay, that's close enough, I'm gonna kill him. Well, this deer comes up in the food plot. And this deer comes walking. I'm like, keep me a scope, get ready. Deer comes across, and I'm like, go ahead whenever you're ready. He gets 20, 10. We're getting in feet now. He's almost ready to walk by the stand, and I'm like, son, shoot. Colby stands up, pulls the trigger, hits the deer. Deer circles around, takes back off in front of us. I said, reload, reload. He kicks action open. He's got gloves on, I don't. He turns around, puts that hot shell right in my hands, grabs one out of the holder. I'm sitting there dropping, it's dinging down the ladder. He shoves it back in there, shuts it back, and spins around on it, gets ready to shoot it, and it falls over. That is probably, you know, he forgot all about having to use the bathroom. He forgot all about that pizza. All he was worried about was getting his hands on that deer. I watched him go through the shake, and to watch, you know, to take a kid, it's just better than you killing your biggest buck. Some people might not look at it that way, but I do. I get the reward out of it just as much as he does. I was so proud of my son for making that shot. So we climb down. We go over there. I'm aggravating him about throwing that hot shell on me. We go over and he gets to put his hands on those horns. First buck ever. He starts saying he can't wait to show Papa, he can't wait to show Bobo, can't wait to show this, Cole, show Garrett, show Amber. And, you know, I remember that day seemed like it went by so slow, in a good way. We took that deer everywhere. We drove all the way back from Morgan County, stopped and got his pizza, and drove all the way back to Morgan County, allowed about an hour and a half drive, drove down here and went to all his friends' house everywhere before he had to go home that night. But that's just another one of the hunting stories from my kids. I've got several on Colby. I got one more on Garrett and a bunch on Amber, but I'll add them to the hunting stories. So like I said in the video before this, if you get a chance to take a kid, take them on juvenile, take them with you through the season, learn, let them learn from each other, let them be little sponges and soak it up, because they are no doubt the future of hunting. And we've got to preserve our heritage to be able to go and do what we do in the great, you know, country that we live in, America. So I hope you enjoyed these videos. Stay tuned, there's more coming. And as always, God bless.